Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. You guys are supposed to say, "Hey, this is the coolest intro ever." Let's pretend to do it again. Dun dun dun. Action man. Dun dun dun. Action man. All right, so good news. It's not smoky out. That's really good. Nice and clear. I think almost all the fire's out. Look at that, nice and clear. Very cold out. It says 13 degrees. With that wind and stuff like that, I'm freezing. So I go to the store to get my chips because I'm taking today off. Been 9 or 10 or 11 days in a row. So it's like my body there this morning. It's like, well, I didn't have anybody. Well, I had some people planned, but I'm just like, they were kind of like pop-up surprise plans, so they wouldn't have known I was going to be going by today anyway. So I said, well, I'm going to have to cut that again soon. Only got to cut that once a month, though. Should be really every 2 weeks, but yeah, they got to pay me too. Anyway, I go into the store to get my chips for the day. Got barbecue chips because it was colder out, and or jalapeno chips because it was colder out. And the garbage truck guy comes in. I know him pretty well and stuff like that. I've known him all my life pretty much. He looks at me, "Right, you still grabbing metal?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Down on Presley Domain," he says, just as you go in, he says, "a whole big whack of metal there for you." So, okay. What he's telling me is he doesn't want to pick it up because it's a pain in the ass for the municipality to have to deal with stuff like that, because they don't. It's not their, they don't do large waste pickup anymore. Most of the little towns don't because of the eco center. The eco center is a money-making machine, right? So couches, sofas, building stuff, it all goes to the eco center now, and guys like me make money going there. It's gonna be a wedding here soon. I'm gonna be doing some photography for my buddy, so I was gonna take the day off. Got to sleep in till 10 today. My body was just so sore. I think I got the poison of the ivy right on the ridge of my neck. So I put calamine lotion. I'm pretty sure it's bug bites, but because they were chewing on me pretty nasty yesterday. But with all the whippersnipping I've been doing, you don't know, right? And I'm like, well, I'm not taking any chances. Get the calamine lotion out, splash it on there. Doesn't seem to be as itchy right now, so it's like, okay. I dabbed it with the Kleenex just to see if there's any liquid coming out of it there, the bump there. If you see liquid, you know you're gonna, and it's right on the center of my back, right at the very top. So that would, my whole back, it'd be a miserable existence for a couple of weeks, being that itchy. I've had poison ivy once in my life. When I was a kid, I could play in this stuff and it didn't bug me at all. I didn't even know it was poison ivy because it was stupid, right? But now I know, and it got me once back in the late 90s, and I haven't had it since. But once you get it once, it's an allergic reaction to the stuff in there, right? So, some trucks out, some nice loads of gravel there. Oh, these nice loads of firewood. Yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna head to Presley Domain. It's not too far, back in Kaywood here, and see if I love local metal runs. It's pretty cool. But I was talking to my buddy Sam last night, the guy for that we were going to go up north, but the plan got shot down. He's still going ahead with a business plan that he has. And we're talking like I feel bad for him because he feels a little bit defeated. For me, I was kind of like, well, if it works out, great. If it doesn't, I wasn't really holding my breath that it would happen. You know what I mean? And right now, like, life can go any which way, right? And like I told him last night, I said, well, like I say, buddy, if we get, like, the first girl you ask out usually doesn't say yes. You know what I mean? Like, you usually got to ask a few of them out before one says yes, right? So just take rejection however you take rejection, right? The good news, not a lot of dust on the road, so that's good. It's weird, like, the forest fires all around the province, okay, were really bad because it was dry, and it's still dry, but we've been getting like this really extremely light rain where you can't even tell it's raining until you go outside, and it's just damp enough and cool enough that you can see like all the plants are loving it, but it is cool. It is very cool. Yeah, so if we can get the moisture back into the air, back into the ground, we might be saved yet, but you can clearly see that the smoke is gone, which is good. So yeah, and I think according to the whatever they call site for Quebec, that I think there's only like 2 or 3 fires still burning out of the 100 and some odd fires. So way to go, firefighters. Anyway, yeah, so I'm on my way for a scrap metal run. Sam and I'm still trying to come up with a way that Sam and I can work together, because Sam and I go way back. He's a guy that he was a roommate of mine from years ago. There was 4 guys living in one house, and yet the house is still standing. And it was kind of like the time of our lives, because it was a program. How I got into it, I don't know. But I was living on people's couches at the time, right? Just wasn't homeless, just couldn't find a place for my own, and I was too poor. But I was working, you know, like I've always been a working man. I'll probably die a working man. I know I'll die a working man. And anyhow, there was a home for guys that you know, were trying to, you know, get a step up in life and stuff like that. There was 4 of them. Some were recovering alcoholics, some were whatever. I had no problems like that, but I just happened to connect with the right person at the right time. I don't even know who got me there. I really don't know how I got into it. I think it was just luck of the draw that I talked to the right person at the right time and say, hey, well, we got to do, hey, it was a guy named Dan. That's right, it was Dan. I remember, he was such a nice guy, that guy. Like, this guy was the type of counselor that would help you. And he asked me one day, he goes, Reg, because somebody was talking to me about my living situation. I said, yeah, I'm sleeping on my sister's couch, and you know, from Wednesday to Monday, and then from Monday to the following Wednesday, I, you know, go to this place and I sleep there, and then I go, they're like, why'd you sleep all over at these places? So, well, I work all over the place, right? Like, I work all over the city. You know, I was working like 103 hours, between 56 and 103 hours a week for 2 years straight. And there's only 168 hours in a week, right? And Dan looks at me and he goes, Reg, he goes, you need a place to stay. I said, yeah. He goes, well, hey, come into my office. He goes, I might be able to help you. He goes, you've been doing a great job here. You know, you're here early every morning and whatever. So anyway, he takes me into the office, and he's like, how do we do for time? Oh yeah, we've got lots of time. He's like, yeah, we got this pilot program because it was like, there's no places for young men. It's still like that to this day. Everything's like women's shelters, which I have no problem with the women's shelters and stuff like that. But you know, guys need help too, especially young lads, right? And you know, I was what, 19, 18, 19, however old I was. And he goes, yeah, here, we'll try that. And he showed me, he grabbed a bunch of us. He says, meet here on this date. He goes, don't worry about the work. He says, I'll cover for you, you know, and just, you know, go back your shift after we're done. And he takes me to this big freaking, like, Norman Bates, like, kind of old 1930s mansion right across from Mooney's Bay Beach. So 4 young guys living across from one of the biggest beaches in Ottawa, right? And yeah, like I say, time of our lives, right? What's going on here? I hope he's not getting the metal. I don't see metal. Don't be taking my metal. Oh, it's Tony. It's Wild Tony. Yeah. Hope he's not coming for the metal, because I got to steal it on him. Yeah. That's my kind of like my dad's best friend there. He's a great guy. Him. Stories, unbelievable. But anyway, yeah. So they said I qualified, and I got this place, and we lived there for a year and a bit, 2 years, whatever, and then I ended up at another place through that youth services program or whatever. And Sam was one of the roommates, and Sam, you know, I love the guy because he became like a brother, right? And he had his issues or whatever. And then, of course, there was Newfie Mike, Lord Thunder and Jesus. I lived with the guy for 2.5 months before any of us could understand what the fuck he was saying. Like, he'd sit there and he'd tell us something, we'd be just nodding. It's like, you guys don't freaking understand me, do you? Lord Thunder and Jesus, eh? And we'd fucking burst out laughing. But what a great guy to live. Like, we all became like brothers. It was great. And that's what young men need is that kind of, you know, camaraderie. Now, let's see if there's some metal here. That's the kind of camaraderie I need today. Is, he said, just when you go in. So this is Presley Domain. So now Elvis Presley doesn't live here. It's just called Presley Domain. Is there gold? Silver. It's silver. Now, where the hell do I don't want to go all the way in. There's something there. Can I turn in his yard? Can I turn in his yard? Yeah, I can, but I'll turn in an easier yard than that. I might as well go all the way in, because just because there's something there doesn't mean there isn't something down here. I'm here now. There's a big bad Dodge blocking the road there. Now that's a gate. It's like, what kind of gate do you have? I have a double reinforced steel gate. What do you have? Dodge Ram. Yeah. It just ends up here anyway. It's a nice little area, but man, the flies. I'm gonna turn here. That's a nice cabin down there. Like, there's some nice properties back here. I don't have any customers in here, strangely enough. It's kind of like a country on its own. It's called Presley Domain. It's just like, it's where the people with the money built when there was no people up here with money. And they like the locals, they don't like the locals. Usually at the tenant meetings, the people that bitch the most come from this area. Should have put on my signal, but these are redneck rules here anyway, so I'll get that nice little load of scrap. So I don't think I'll be getting a ton today, but enough to go into the scrapyard anyway. I don't like tin. Tin's too light. So anyway, yeah, that's what I got going on, and I guess I went over the video time anyway, so I might as well just keep the camera going.